Next tip is be careful about... Wait, am I doing the environment one yet?
No, that's the one we're doing together.
Oh, okay, so which one is this?
Hey, what's up everyone? Danny here from Nerd on a Budget. A few other YouTubers and myself decided to collaborate together to create a list of our top tips when it comes to putting together a PC. We're all growing channels that focus on both tech and budget, and we know that some of you watch all of our channels and love it when we interact with each other, so it just made sense to combine our efforts and make one special video for you, the viewer. We want all of you to get the most out of your money and to have a smooth building experience when you put together your rig, and this is especially true if this is going to be your first time putting together a computer, because we know that it can be very intimidating and that a lot of things can go wrong. These are all tips that we use ourselves, so hopefully you can take advantage of them too. Without further ado, let's get to the tips.
What's up guys, my name is Matt and I run a technology channel called Tech by Matt, and I'm going to be giving you guys a couple of my top tips for building PCs on a budget. Here's my first tip, and that is to not overspend in areas that do not directly affect performance. Some examples of this are a fancy case, overkill power supplies, water cooling solutions when you don't need them. If you're able to cut back in these areas, you can allocate that money into places where it's going to more affect your gaming performance, for example in your CPU or GPU. People send me lists all the time and say, hey, can you check this out? Do you think this is a good PC? And I'll see them go way overkill on the case. They'll get like a 850 watt power supply when they only have a single CPU and GPU. And really, if they had allocated that in a different way, they could have gotten in many times double the gaming performance of what that initial list they showed me. My second tip, which is PC hardware is a lot more durable than a lot of people give it credit for. I mean, just watch some of Tech Yes City's videos and you'll be convinced. But really the reason you want to go used is because you're going to get way more performance for the exact same money. For example, my $200 used part build way outperforms my $400 new part build, and the $200 one includes the cost of an operating system. All of our channels have great examples of this, so if you want to see some different used part builds, I'd recommend checking out all of our channels.
What's up guys, it is Ozzy from OzTalksHW. My two tips when it comes to building on a budget are pretty simple. My first one is that you should definitely be patient when you're buying budget parts. Good deals come and go, so you definitely have to wait and see what kind of deals pass by before buying your parts for your PC build. And if there's a possibility of a good deal coming up, then definitely wait for that to happen. For example, if Black Friday is only 2 weeks away, wait those 2 weeks because you can get pretty good deals on computer hardware during Black Friday. My second tip is pretty simple as well, and that is that you should be pretty flexible. Be like water. By this, I mean if you cannot find your recommended part for a cheap price, then look for the part that's a tier below that one. You can always compensate through other means, turning down settings a little bit and overclocking. Oh, there's also a really quick note, and that is that you should buy for now and not future-proof. I'm going to keep this one super short, and that's basically don't worry about what happens in the future because things outdate super quickly. Buy for what you need now and be good to go.
Toasty Bros here, and we're here to give you our tips for first-time PC builders. The first tip is to not set a certain amount of time for the PC build to get done. This is personal experience from both of us. We've done this a lot, is when we're on a time crunch and we want to fit in a PC build, and it's really not the best idea. It's like somebody just stops you from getting the PC done. There's some force out there that prevents you from getting it done because of troubleshooting errors or hardware glitches. There's a bunch of stuff that can happen. So I highly recommend you set out a certain day, like a full day, just dedicated to putting this PC together, especially if it's your very first one, because there are some things that you need to take your time with and troubleshoot, and you don't need any of the extra stress when doing it because it can allow you to break something or misplace something, or it can be a giant stressing mess. Definitely set out a time of day or a whole day to build a PC.
Okay, so the next tip is before you actually go and put all those parts in the case and have to take everything back out when you realize something doesn't work, go ahead and take that motherboard box, put the motherboard on top, put the RAM in it, put the CPU, fan and heatsink, and the graphics card if you have one, and then go ahead and just plug in the power supply. It's not going to hurt it just to turn it on for a few minutes. Really, I mean, with how parts are now, they're pretty reliable and they're not going to overheat. You could probably use it for quite some time, which we've done millions of times. Yes. And just make sure it all works. The box isn't going to allow any type of static because they're designed to be anti-static and everything. So just set on top of the box and try it, make sure everything works, because if something doesn't work and it's all in the case, and it's going to really suck when you have to take everything back out, because we've had to do that
Many.
more than a few times.
Yeah, many times. And then the last tip that we're going to go over that me and him have both a lot of experience with all the PC builds that we've done is picking the environment for which you choose to build your PC. Now, not outside, which, you know, we might actually have a video coming up of that. We've considered doing something like that in the future. So, but environment is very important when building your PC. One, you don't want to be in a room with a ton of carpet, and you don't want to be in a room with a ton of carpet barefoot, first of all, because one, that's just a giant disaster for electrostatic discharge on your computer components. If you're worried about it, there's no harm in using an anti-static wrist strap, which, I mean, go for it. There's
Our first builds, that's what we did.
Yeah, just do it. But at some point, you get really comfortable and you just don't really feel like doing it, and you could ground yourself by holding on to your case. But that's really not the point we're trying to make here. It's your environment. The environment's very important. Make sure you have a lot of space. And I know he can harp on this. The whole idea of having space when you're unboxing stuff is very important.
Yeah, like, I mean, especially if you're doing, I mean, it's different if you're not doing a video on it. I mean, I guess either way you want a lot of space. Like, even this table back here, that one table's not enough. I mean, it's every time we've done this, everything ends up all over the room. People are climbing over each other, trying to put screws in and stuff.
Yeah.
So I really suggest, if you can, just getting one of those like big fold-out tables or something and putting it right in the middle of a room. Because then everyone can get on different sides. If you're having more than one person, I'll build it. One person can be up front putting like hardware, and another person can be in the back doing cable management. So
yeah, it's like places like a garage or like a big open kitchen area with a big table that you can just sit down and do that.
An island
or like an island. Yeah, that's a perfect place to do it.
Table,
kitchen table. Yeah, I used to do that for my PC builds. I used to go down my kitchen and build on tables, and my parents got annoyed and kicked me out of there. But that's another point. Thanks to Nerd on Budget, OzTalksHW, and Tech by Matt for collabing with us, and we hope to see you on our channel.
Hello there, Danny again, and my first tip is to start buying parts and looking for deals as soon as you have a portion of your budget in hand. For example, let's say you have a target budget of $300. Don't wait until you get all $300 ready in your bank account or in hand before you start buying parts. Start buying parts as soon as you can gather anywhere from $50 to $100. You can knock out some of the more universal components such as the RAM, the hard drive, the case, the power supply, basically anything that's not the CPU and motherboard, because those are the most restricted things when it comes to compatibility. I have never seen really good deals for every single component for a complete build occur on the same day. They usually span anywhere between 2 weeks to a month. So start knocking them out so you don't have to wait at the last moment once you finally get your money together. Also, to go along with the Toasty Bros other tip, as the parts trickle in, start testing them one by one. If this is going to be your first build, recruit a friend that has a complete working computer and pop in your components individually to make sure that they're not dead on arrival. My second tip is to take advantage of the differences in cooling solutions for graphics cards. This is something that when I first built my very first computer, I didn't pay much mind to, and I didn't even realize that there was much of a difference between different versions of the same card. And by different versions, I'm not talking about the brands like MSI, Asus, PowerColor, EVGA, Sapphire, and all that. I'm actually talking about the bigger differences between the reference style blowers and open style coolers. Reference style blowers have one fan on the end of the card, and it sucks air through it and blows it through the back to cool it down. Open air coolers, on the other hand, pulls air through the heat sink to cool the card and then disperses that warm air back into the surrounding area to be pulled out of the case via the top or back vents. Reference style coolers usually run a little hotter and a little louder than their counterparts because you only have one fan kind of carrying the whole load of keeping the card cool. But this doesn't come without benefits because these are usually cheaper, especially in the used market. If you don't mind the sound as much because you mostly play with headphones, and if you live in a cooler part of the world, then this might be a good solution and it will definitely help save you some money.
So yeah guys, this wraps this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to all of our channels. All of our channels will be linked in the description down below along with our Twitters, and we definitely plan on doing more collaborations in the future, so stay tuned for that. So until next time, peace.